You know what I wish my dad would do, Colby?
What's that, Barry?
I wish he would just stay home and do barbecues like regular dads. Oh man, I I love that actress because I think that's where Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time got that voice from.
It could be. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry,
This is Colby.
and this is Who Watches This.
Nothing music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new month of the Who Watches This podcast. I'm joined by Colby, as you guys already know. Sorry, it's like so weird. Brand new month. Colby, I usually forward this to you to introduce the month, but do you remember? I forget.
We're doing niche movies about niche hobbies.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was, I was kind of scouring the internet. I was like, oh, what should we do? Like, we've been doing the podcast for 5 years. I was like, oh, I don't know. The well is getting tapped lately. But no, like, I was like, oh, okay. I can't say that. There's still so much more movies to watch out there.
There is a lot.
I
Yeah.
know. We might have to start revisiting some prior months. So just forewarn you guys. You're like, oh, two Nicolas Cage months. What this madness?
Right. I was just gonna say, I was like, there's like 190 Nicolas Cage movies, and we've only reviewed like 12 of them.
I know. We really have to space it out because we don't just want to be a Nicolas Cage podcast.
Right, but he's got enough that we almost could be.
We could do it for like 3 years. But
But if
yeah,
we've been around for 5 years, we would. You're right. We would have run out of stuff.
yeah. But yeah, so today, so this month is my month, and I was like, well, I gotta look for something, and kind of just I stumbled upon somebody's like pictogram of like random movies, and I was like, what are these movies have in common? I was like, maybe it's just like a bunch of movies they like, but then I saw like a little tag like all these movies are about niche hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I was like, all right, let me check this out. I was gonna do one, I forgot what it was, but I couldn't find like the hitch to, or like the latch to it. So I was like, oh, I think I gotta scratch that one and look for another one. And I was like, that one looks like it's gonna have a lot of boobs in it. And
If you shoot back to like 80s comedies and 80s horror movies, boobs aplenty.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so crazy to me, but because like boobs came fast.
I, right. Yeah, just right off.
But yeah, and I was like, oh, what's something that me and Kobe like? Oh, let's start with something that me and Kobe kind of have in common. And I
We
was
both
like,
need to lose weight, so we both have boobs.
oh, that too. No, I was like, let me find a movie that like we kind of have like a shared space in, right?
Definitely.
Kobe had it more towards like the beginning, and I had it more towards like the dying. And I
Mm-hmm.
was there to watch the world burn. But let's go to introduce the movie for this. Don't have a Rhinefest trailer for you guys. These are getting hard for me. I am lacking the inspiration. So we're just gonna go in a world where a grumpy dad is scared that his daughter is gonna get porked by the arcade owner. A nerdy guy becomes the assistant manager of an arcade, and the former student council president is now a fat slob. We're going to venture into River City, 1983. Joysticks. I really got to work on these. Can't freeball these, you know what I mean?
Wasn't bad, but you
Yeah.
had the voice down.
Yeah, I got it. You know, yeah, we grew up on it. You know, Mr. Movie Phone.
Right. Oh yeah, totally.
Remember that? Yeah, I
Right.
get. This is the age of Mr. Well, Mr. Movie Phone was more the '90s, but you know,
Right. Yeah.
still definitely the age of. Do you know where your kids are? But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the 1983 movie, raunchy. You know, very in the same space as Revenge of the Nerds and Animal House, Joysticks,
Porkies. Yeah.
Porkies, Joysticks. Which, to be fair, like a good amount of actual famous people are in here.
Right.
More so for the time, but there's one standout that is I got to say probably the most famous guy in here, and it's really a surprise. I was like, as I saw him in this movie, I was like, that guy looks so familiar. Where is he from? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this movie. This movie's plot is paper thin.
I,
Yeah,
right. Right.
you can't wipe your butt with this one. The movie starts off with a guy, Eugene, driving to his first day at work at the what is it called? The Mr. Bailey's arcade
Yeah.
emporium. I don't know. And you know, kind of a nerdy guy. Kind of looks like Sean Astin's like little brother. I don't.
Oh my god. I had to actually look because I was like, is he in this too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally looks like.
And he's like in this junker of a car, and he's driving down the street until he kind of like gets accosted by two women.
Right, because he's singing to himself, and they're like, "Ooh, hey, baby, you want to come over to our house and sing for us?"
Which is like, wow, this must be like a dream sequence.
I, right, yeah,
And they're like, oh, where are you going? Well, they don't talk like this. Only one girl talks like that. But like, where are you going? He's like, oh, it's actually my first day at John Bailey's arcade. Or Jeff Bailey's arcade emporium. And they're like, oh my god, you're going to go to the arcade? Why don't you want to come hang out with us, though, in the back seat? And he's like, I don't know, guys. I think I have to, like, go to work. He's like, come on, show us. Show it. I don't know what they're. I forgot how they were asking to show them the penis.
they flashed him, and that was enough for him to be like, "Oh, okay, yes, I will crawl out my window and then crawl into the back of your convertible."
Yeah, like they're like 1981 Buick Skylark. Oh yeah. Okay. First of all, yeah. Like the first 2 minutes of this movie, there's already two pairs of boobs.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, God bless America sometimes. The 80s.
What happened to the good old days?
Right? What happened to just being topless, you know? Why do all these people have dignity all of a sudden? But, like, honestly, like, you know, back in the 80s, two girls show their boobs. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go in that car. Today,
Right.
it's like,
Yep.
no, I'm going to get my organs harvested from...
Yeah.
But, like...
There's serial killer vibes now.
It's broad daylight, and they're in the middle of the road, and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna fuck in the middle of the road. And he eeny meeny miny moes them,
Right.
and the girls are like, are we really gonna have to do this? And like, oh come on, Becky, we're just having fun.
We don't have to ball him. We just gotta take a picture of him with his pants down.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on, you know? And so like, yeah, he's like, I forgot what he calls his penis, but he's like, get ready to see Tom Arnold.
Was Simba?
Oh, Simba. Oh, no, I think I might prefer Tom Arnold.
It's a little bit fatter.
Yeah, oh, it's girthy. That puppy is girthy and veiny. But like, yeah, they get him to take off like his pants, but he's like in his boxers. The police drive by and they're like, what the fuck is going on? They take a Polaroid. He hops out of the car. The girls drive away and they're like, we'll have your pants at the arcade. He 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 he. And it looks, I can only assume that for some reason he walks to the arcade. Maybe the keys were in his pants.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yes, he walks to the arcade
Yeah, and
and
honestly,
sneaks in.
yeah, and the way that he like, okay, so like, listen for all of you youths that listen to us. If you're ever in an embarrassing situation, you just gotta own it and act like everything's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cause he's sneaking around like a ninja, and it's more creepy. You know?
Right. This is not like it's not like Caddyshack where somebody pantsed you. You know,
Yeah.
he's got boxers on. Like
It's like they're the length of like jogging shorts.
yeah, they're like grandpa boxers. They're
Yeah.
not like
You just gotta walk around with all the confidence in the world, and it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, that guy just likes to go out like that. Cool. But when you're like crouching down, going like solid snake around the place, and people catch you, like that guy's gonna jack off in the street.
Right. Yeah. He's a predator.
Yeah, but then we get introduced to Jeff Bailey, who owns the arcade. And God, when's the last time you really just saw an arcade like this, just filled with people in their mid 20s acting like teenagers, or acting like they're teenagers? And it really was a
I
time,
yeah. I was definitely like I went to the arcade lots when I was in high school.
right?
They took tons of my quarters.
Was there girls there? Yeah, I need to know. Like, when I went, it was
There
dying.
there was some, but it wasn't not like this.
Yeah, like this movie starts off like before we get to meet Eugene. It's just a girl playing on a cabinet, and I was like, no, that's a lie.
Yeah, no, that they. You're right.
That girl is at what do they call it? What do they used to call it? Aerobics. Yeah,
Jazzercise or
yeah.
something.
That girl's at jazzercising, getting dicked down by a guy that looks like Richard Ramirez. She's not at the fucking arcade playing a cabinet game. That's bullshit. But no, we get to meet Jeff, and he's like the conductor of this place. Him and his grandpa own it. There's like babes all around. The two girls that pants Eugene is there, just
Right.
like all
With
over this guy.
Eugene's pants.
With Eugene's pants all over him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like then we get to meet Patty, who is really the driving force of the plot of this movie. She's underage? I think she's like 16.
Right.
And oh my
And
god.
she's got the hots
Yeah,
for Bailey.
she's dressed like Cyndi Lauper. Is that who it is? Or no,
Yeah.
or what's a Tiffany?
Tiffany, yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And oh my god, when she started talking, I was like, "Oh, is she speaking in another language?"
Oh
And I
yeah,
was
that
like,
hardcore
no. Yeah.
valley girl talk.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, Jeff, you gotta play games with us. Like, okay, Kobe, you grew up in Las Vegas.
It was her voice was a little exaggerated.
Yeah,
I mean, people really did in the 80s talk like that, but like a small section of girls talked like that, but not that far. They were more like Clueless.
yeah.
Like
They're just like ditzy.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
yeah.
like from the movie Clueless, because she talked with the Valley accent also like
Oh
that.
yeah, but that was like '90s Valley accent. So
Yeah.
it was almost just like a California accent at that time. I remember growing
Oh,
up with that. It was just like,
totally.
whatever. But this is like '80s. Like, oh my god, Kobe! I just saw you on the pool. Oh, speedos. But no, yeah. So like Jeff is like he entertains Patty, but he's like, you're 16. Like I know you have a crush on me, but he's like it's funny. A lot of this movie, it's very much perpetuating like the '80s stereotypical like raunchy comedy.
Right.
But like I feel like this is like one of the first movies I've seen from the '80s where like the older guy isn't like taking advantage
Oh,
of a younger girl.
right.
Right? Because he's like, "Oh, thanks, Patty. That's really cool." And then like Eugene comes stumbling in. He's like, "Where's my pants?" And like the two girls, like, oh, hey, what's up, Eugene? You fucking nerd. Here's your pants. We spilled marinara sauce on it.
I think it was just supposed to be on the floor and then got like dirty. But yeah,
Yeah, someone spilled the marinara sauce for their cheese sticks. Unfortunately, when that happens, now you have this fresh out of high school kid, 18-year-old, pantsless with a girthy one on him, and Patty's dad shows up. And he's like, "What are you doing here, Patty? Oh my God, you're here with degenerates!" And
right.
thus we meet. What was it? What was his name? Like Mister. Started with an R. It's not like Ruffalo, but it's like
A
Ruthers.
rudder,
Rudder.
rudder.
This is where we meet Mr. Rudder, and he's really the antagonist of this movie. And he's like, "Oh my God, you're hanging around with a bunch of hooligans with their pants off. Oh my, that guy's dick is almost out."
Yes, yeah, he's definitely the super conservative, but powerful within the city, like knows people, has some money, kind of guy who's like, this is just like a hall for degenerates, and if we let the arcade stay open, it's gonna be a breeding ground for more rodents.
It's gonna be a cesspool, and
Yeah,
this Jeff guy's gonna fuck my daughter. It's not like he drags Patty out of there, and then we kind of go through a day where like he's Jeff. Jeff also seems like a decent guy. He's not really like an asshole to anybody. He's like he's not. He's sort of an asshole, but not like in the very classic '80s dropping like homophobic slurs asshole.
oh, right, yeah,
He's
yeah,
kind of like, I'm the cool guy that's friends with everybody, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time.
yeah.
And so that's what he kind of does with Eugene. He kind of gives him through like the whole shtick of the arcade. And Eugene is kind of like a little bit of a tight ass, right? Because he's like trying to clean. He's like getting in the way for people. And then he meets, what's his name? Dorfus? And
Dorfus, yep.
God, this guy is, classic comic book guy from The Simpsons. But he's playing Pac-Man, and it looks like he's about to kill screen Pac-Man. Yeah, he's like, he was like, I've never seen 7 digits, and I was so close. You fucked it up, nerd.
Really, yep.
Yeah, but Jeff is like, hey, sorry, he's like new. Come on, man. Like, and Jeff, Eugene was kind of giving Dorfus a hard time. He's like, you can't eat and play. It's gonna get greasy.
You should go home until you're better
Oh,
cleaned up and
uh,
more willing, because your appearance is,
not up to the standard of this establishment.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
I gotta be honest here. So you kind of need a little bit of that because then then like gaming hobby stores wouldn't have to put signs like must be bathed to play in here. Like the fact that like what didn't Yu-Gi-Oh had to put it in the official rules that if you have a foul odor, you're gonna get a DQ.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, but honestly, just a general good rule to just be presentable. You can come looking a little homeless, but don't stink.
Right, yeah. Endorphus is he's glistening. He is definitely sweaty.
That guy sweats pizza oil. And like Jeff kind of like brings Eugene around. And he's like, hey, hold on, man. Like, hey, Dorfus is actually like he's like the engineer for the store. So yeah, cut him a break, And he's like, oh my
Right.
God. And he's like,
And
hey, he was the
he was class.
student council president
Yeah.
for like the high school that Eugene just like what's it called, graduated from.
Yep.
And he's like, oh my God, what? He's like, and they go to Dorfus. He's like, yeah, I have to run that shit, but then I met good old Miss Pac-Man over here, and we just fell in love. Like, oh, okay. Well, that's kind of a cautionary tale. Oh man! But then we cut to Mr. Rudders, and he's at home with his 2 little nephews that are kind of his henchmen.
Right. And they're both they are both Uh, Also, names in the industry, uh, John Dell and John Volstad. They both were in Stripes with Bill
Oh,
Murray. They both John Dell has continued to be in stuff. He's in a bunch of like episode like where he plays like cops and stuff in like CSI, and like he is actively till today. And then John Volstead, he was I know him like I immediately recognized him because I used to watch the Newhart show, and there used to be the "Hi, my name is Larry, it's my brother Daryl, it's my other brother Daryl." He was the other brother Daryl.
but I want to tell you guys, these two aren't the big name in this movie.
No, no.
Right, but like no, like Mr. Rutter's like, we have to shut that thing down before my little girl gets pregnant. And he goes outside, and like his like Patty is out there sunbathing like you do in the '80s. First of all, like if you're white, just want to warn you guys, you got to do sunscreen. If you do sunscreen, you'll still look pretty youthful.
Oh yeah,
That's the
no.
Asian secret. You know what I mean?
This was 80s. This is
Yeah,
the era of baby oil and holding the mirror up to your face to
exactly.
get double the sun.
Yeah, but no, like this is for just people now. Like if you're wondering if
Oh
you're
yeah.
of the Caucasoid persuasion, uh, and you're like, how do Asian people always look young? We just always put sunscreen on. Kind of weird because like Mr. Rudders is talking to his daughter. He's like kind of bribing her with some Benjis, uh, and these two are looking at their cousin in the wrong way.
Right,
Yeah,
right. She's cute. She's cute.
yeah, but she's still your
I
cousin.
actually I had a little crush on this actress. She was in a bunch of stuff. Like she was in some of the Police Academy movies and
Yeah,
stuff. Like I totally remember her from back in the day.
but also in the movie, cousin.
Yes,
Yeah,
cousin.
all my cousins look like
and
walruses to
and
me.
I will attest to that. In even in the 80s,
Yep.
cousin love was not an okay thing.
But
There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, no, in the 80s, yeah, you could smoke in McDonald's. It was just the
yeah,
way things. No, it was
no cousin loving.
banging your cousin was still not okay.
But no, and he's like, "Oh, you want to use my Mastercard? Well, if you want to, you can't go to the arcade." And she like takes it, and she's like, "Dada, you can't tell me where to go. All right, I'm gonna go to the arcade." And so yeah,
Since you said that, oh my god, I'm like totally like Adventure Time. That's 100% how she sounded.
well, I'm pretty sure I'm doing it with a twinge of like Lumpy Space Princess because I used to
I
love doing that voice because it was so
Right,
fun.
but she did
Yeah.
that. It was just like that.
Exactly. And so like yeah, so like the days kind of like progress cuz again, plot is pretty razor thin and Mr. Rudders is trying to find a way to shut this place down. We do get introduced to Lord Vidiot,
Yes.
who is I have to probably say the biggest star of this movie.
Yep.
He does a lot of small roles, but like you'll when you see him, you know him. Never,
Right.
never like the main cast, not even supporting cast, but he's there.
You, I feel like his biggest role was just super recent
Yeah, yeah,
because he's in all the White Lotus
yeah, exactly. And that was a huge
series.
show. And so yeah, and like we kind of first we get introduced to him pretty like early on, and he just seems like kind of like what is it like the punk rock type of guy, and
Oh right, yep. He was the punk with the leather jacket, blue hair,
yeah, but he's also like
dark
surrounded by
the man makeup. Yeah,
yeah, but he's like surrounded by a lot of girls, and I was like, oh, that guy's got a girthy one too, man. And like, yeah, but like, there's a little bit of tension between the two, like him and like Jeff, and I feel like it's more about acceptance more than anything.
Right.
But he even challenges Dorfus to a game, and Jeff is like, Dorfus, Dorfus is taking this like 1v1 like super lax. I think they're playing like Galaga or something like that. And
They is that were they playing
they're playing a lot of games. They got like Mr. Yeah,
Satan's something.
Logan's Run, the video game. I don't know. There's a lot of games in this, but like, yeah, they're playing it, and Dorfus is kind of like he's like letting his like lives go to waste, and Vidiot gets pretty far, but he ends up dying, and he's like, "You'll never catch up to me. You only got one life left, Dorfus." And Dorfus like, hold on, and he totally obliterates Vidiot, right? But like, this is like the reason why Dorfus is playing for Jeff is because we learned that Jeff, he's been saying throughout this whole movie, he's like, I just run this place. I really don't play the video games.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, like one of the mysteries of this movie, because it's strange, right? Like, Colby, you owned a comic book store. You definitely read comic books.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
definitely.
And so, but the little henchmen of Mr. Rudders, they kind of sneak in there in drag. And the first video is like, "Hey, what's up, baby?" I was like, "No, that's clearly a man." But hey, game is game, I guess. And
He's just got low standards.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh man," I forgot why they have like some sort of like everyone leaves the arcade store, but they're like, "Yo, we can clear this place out. They got no security. We could just take all the cabinets." And then there'll be no arcade.
They're thinking once it closes at night, it closes at midnight or whatever, that they'll break in and steal all the stuff because they can.
Yeah, and but then like they end up throwing a party later too.
Well, right,
Yeah,
but
you gotta, huh?
That was an invite only party because it wasn't during business hours.
Yeah, and that's where like a lot of the tension comes with Vidiot, because, like, sorry. Prior to this, the two girls at the beginning of the movie start to flirt with Jeff and they're like, "Hey Jeff, this is the picture we took of your new work, or if you want it, you gotta let us play Strip Pac-Man," or I don't know what game they were playing.
Right, there's apparently some new game in the back that no one had seen before,
but like, they're playing it like strip poker, like these girls' tits are out. And like Jeff is like in his boxers or whatever, and then Dorfus and Eugene are like, "Dude, you want to go watch?" And I was like, I feel like this is like a one-person thing. If you're gonna watch somebody else have sex, if you bring your friend to it, now you're like, are you guys just beating it off together?
Right, and they're the only two other employees, so they're gonna like leave a full
arcade, yeah, like arcade alone,
like with arcade with like a snack shack.
Yeah,
we're just gonna leave that so we can go watch our boss.
Yeah, have a threesome.
Rail two girls.
Yeah, but then like they're like, "Oh, check this out," and they kind of like, it feels like Jeff was gonna do it, but he kind of didn't want to. Jeff seems like an anomaly of an '80s character, right?
Right, especially since he's like by far the most attractive male person in this movie.
Yeah, dude's classic handsome. He looks like what's it called? Ted Danson when he was in Cheers, like his little brother.
Yeah,
had the same coiffed hair. Same like jaw structure. I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna rail these two chicks, but it doesn't seem like he wanted to. So like they kind of like flooded it out. Unfortunately, Mr. Rudders comes at the same time, and these two girls, naked girls, fall into his arm, and then someone, I forgot who takes a picture, but someone takes a picture,
right? Yeah,
kind of uses it as they're like, hey. You say this place is a cesspool, but the only evidence you have is this picture.
Right. The only picture we've got is of you with two topless girls. I'm not sure how you're saying that.
And I don't know if I tell the community that you brought two titty girls over here. And so for that's when like his little henchmen hatch up that plan. They do get some of the cabinets, and then they have this little invite party where they're like, "Hey, Voight, Vidiot, you can't come in here because it's invite only," and that pisses him off. So that kind of starts him off as a an
Yeah,
antagonist as well.
it's totally like the Revenge of the Nerds, like just like super unplausible. Like these two guys steal all the cabinets from the entire place, put them in his truck, and then while they're doing that, they're just like, "Well, we'll siphon the gas out of their truck, and that way they'll both have to walk to the gas station to get more. And while they're walking to the gas station to get more, we can just put all the cabinets all back."
Yeah. And so like, they get to like Mr. Rudder's house and they're like, we got him, boss. And then here's all the expenditures that you have to write off for.
Oh, that's right. And while they're doing that, Dorfus and Eugene break into Rudder's house.
Yeah, and like his wife is almost gonna have sex with Eugene. I don't think it even matters, but at the same time, Dorfus is like farting the whole time, and it turns her on. I don't know.
It's that weird. Like there was definitely like a reoccurring joke in a lot of movies and shows where like if a woman took Valium and was really sleepy, then she just was also very horny. And maybe it was like some early Bill Cosby roofie thing. Maybe like that all went together, and I didn't put those things together as a kid, but it was just, it really like if a woman was half asleep, but because she was on Valium, she wasn't waking up, but still was horny.
Oh gosh, there's a Cosby joke in there, and I just can't find it. Just like his morals. But no, yeah, and so like the two henchmen come, they show the truck and there's nothing in there, and so like the next day, Jeff is like, hey man, listen, I just want you to leave me alone, like this is a place really isn't hurting you, and like Patty's hanging out here, but come on man, I'm not gonna sleep with your daughter. She's underage, dude. Right. And so he's like, come on, let's just kind of lay low, here, like I got the photo of you. We'll go ahead and trades, and we'll just call it even Stevens, right? But then, like Mr. Rudder sees like the tension between Jeff and Vidiot, and so he like kind of coerces him into his camp. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna take him down, and then I'll get you your own video game."
Right, because like my two nephews have gotten the news involved in trying to like do protests to get rid of this cesspool of arcade depravity.
Yeah, but then like the newscaster kind of just totally flips it on him.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, all right, we got to get this all sorted out. So like they make the trade. They kind of they so-called called it quits. But then, he gets Vidiot and he's like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and, you're gonna cause trouble in there. And then we're gonna be like, this is a place filled with violence, titties and violence.
Right. Yeah, because if we can get the cops called because there's like something illegal, somebody like some ruckus is happening, then we'll have like better grounds to stand on. We could take this to like the city council to have you shut down.
And so Vidiot kind of like, I don't know, spazzes out in his house, and he's like, all right, you're going to get me my own cabinet. Cool. You know what I need? Some wheels, baby. And he goes and gets, like, these motorized little tyke motorcycles. And it's the most tamest of public disturbances because they're, like, in there with, like, their little motorcycles revving all over the place. And he calls the newscast, and he's like, look at this, like, violence. And they're kind of doing an interview, and Vidiot is like, hey, thanks, Mr. Rudders, for getting me these wheels, baby. And they're like, hey, what's that about? He's like, I don't know. He must be hopped up on dope. So they're like, all right. So they're finally able to call a city council meeting. And the mayor looks like he really just doesn't. This is like so on the bottom of his concern list.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, man, we really gone backwards. This guy, this mayor knows how to prioritize this. But what's it called? Mr. Rudders has like all of these testimonies. Like this nurse makes a jacking off joke about joysticks, and she makes the motions of jacking off, and then your hand cramps, so you got to switch your other. Everyone's like, oh my god, what the hell?
But she's weirdly like in the age of COVID. Like you didn't ever talk about like germs.
Yeah,
I didn't really ever hear anybody talking about germs. So just like cover your mouth when you sneeze or whatever. But yeah, she's all like, oh yeah, no, they don't clean the place, and everybody's touching the joysticks, and germs are getting passed around, and everybody's gonna be
yeah,
getting these.
but it all,
But yeah,
yeah,
she also does kind of say it almost like it's like a venereal disease.
yeah.
But
And then like, the sports coach comes and he's like, all the athletes are over there playing video games. And they're
right,
not
instead of
being
coming to
athletes.
practice.
Which I
Yep.
was like, okay, that's a pretty fair concern. I feel like that's a very small pool, but still like a great concern because you're probably like these kids could get a college scholarship and be a productive person of society, blah blah blah. And
Right. Yep.
so Jeff comes and he's like, that was crazy, man. This whole thing that Mr. Rudders has set up is so insane, because really the arcade is where all these kids can come congregate socialize kind of de-stress from everything. This is all that we're really trying to do.
Right. It's a clean, safe environment for them to hang out in. Yeah, there's a melting pot of
Yeah,
like
of cultures meeting here. And Mr. Brothers keeps talking about it being a cesspool. Well, you know what? And he brings out like a little projector with the slides, and he's like, the only person that's acting dirty here is Mr. Rudders. Look at her, look at him with these titty girls over here. And they're like, oh man, this. And the mayor's like, I've seen enough. This, though, you know what? These concerns that you have, Mr. Rudders, are so just banal.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this photo kind of just solidifies it. You're the only one bringing titties into this child-friendly environment. So you know what, Mr. Bailey, go ahead, have your arcade. This motion to dismiss. And I was like, oh, okay, pretty decent, And so after that, there everyone kind of celebrates. Mr. Rudders is fuming still, and he's trying to concoct one more plan. He's like, yeah, fine, fine, Jeff. You know what? How about this? We'll play for the arcade. You pick a person, I'll pick a person, and we can go for that. And
Right.
first he's like, you play, and I'll pick a champion, and you guys can go after it. And Jeff is like, no, I'll pick a champion. He's like, no, 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 you gotta do it. And he's like, no, 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 Dorfus will do it. And so
Right.
they kind of agree, but like you already know Mr. Rudders is gonna kidnap Dorfus, right? So when the next day rolls up at the meeting time, Dorfus is nowhere to be found, and so like, oh, it looks like Jeff's got to play, and so Eugene kind of like talks to Jeff, and he's like kind of coaches him, and he's like, Jeff is like, do you know why I can't play these games? It's because, well, when a couple years ago, me and my girl Sally or Sandy were here, and
Right.
I was gonna lose it to her. We were doing it on the floor of the arcade, and he like not like just bare arcade floor. He actually like sets up a little cottage in the middle of all these cabinets.
Right. There's some blankets, there's some candles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess oddly sweet. And he's like, yeah, we were about to do it until I looked into the screen of the cabinet and I saw her dad. After that, she moved out, and we haven't talked since.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because he got dad got mad and took her and moved her out of state, and that was the love of my life. And now I can never play video games again because every time I look into the computer screen, I can just see his face looking back at me.
Right, but then Eugene kind of like he gives him the good old pep talk, and he's like, "We got 15 minutes to get you ready." And for some reason, in those 15 minutes, this guy's just like doing push-ups,
And
sit-ups.
sit ups. Yeah. It's a whole like montage of like preparing for
Yeah.
some major sporting
And
event.
so Jeff is like, "All right, cool." He's hyped up. He's riding on this like adrenaline high. He's like, "I think I could do this. I think I could do this." Meanwhile, Dorfus gets kidnapped by the two henchmen.
Yeah.
And the two henchmen is like, hey, let's go check it out. See if see if they're doing all right. And then, this guy's tied up. He's not going anywhere. But then Dorfus starts like farting all over the place.
Right.
And his wife, Mr. Rudder's wife, hears it, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so horny," and like, and he's
I'm
able,
so attracted to your man
yeah,
gas.
oh yeah, and so like he convinces, he's like, "Hey, like I know a couple other young studs, and they'll come." He pretty much says like, "I'll get them, and they'll fill up every hole that you got."
Right.
And
Right.
she's
Yeah.
like,
You let me go. I'll get you somebody even hotter than me.
"Yeah." And so like she's like, "Okay," so it lets him go. Oh my gosh! So meanwhile, like Jeff and Lord Vidiot are like playing. Jeff is stumbling, fumbling, and he's like, "I don't know if I could do it." And so when Dorfus finally shows up, he's like, "Oh my god, thank God, Dorfus, you're here. Please take it." And Eugene's like, "Dorfus, no, he has to do it. We have to make him face his fear when there's something on the line, so he can get over it." And he's like, "Sorry,
Yep.
Jeff, but Eugene's right. You gotta do it. You gotta do it for the arcade, man." And so yeah, he ends up, classic '80s, pulling through,
Right.
crushing Lord Vidiot's high score in this comically large joystick that they've been using. Which I gotta say, kind of cool. I would like use it. It's
Right.
a gimmick,
Yeah.
but whatever. And Mr. Rudders. Oh, by the way, like during this whole little tournament thing, the mayor comes by, and Eugene kind of like, "Here's a couple free tokens, Mr. Mayor. Why don't you play this game that reminds you of Vietnam or the Korean War?" I don't know. He was probably in the Korean War, not Vietnam. And he's like, "Man, the mayor's having fun." He's like, "Ugh." Like sometimes you see people have PTSD. This guy's having nostalgia flashbacks.
Yep.
Oh man, and he like thwarts Rudders away. He's like, "Oh, shove it up your ass, Rudders. This place is fun and family friendly. Yeah, you just don't like it because your daughter has fancy as Jeff, and but yeah, blah blah blah." And so yeah, Jeff is able to win the whole tournament. Everybody hugs, and then all of a sudden, Jeff's grandpa comes by with a really hot nurse,
Yep.
and he's like, my boy, come over here. How's everything going?" He's like, "It's cool, Grandpa. We thwarted Mr. Rudders, and now he can't ever like bother us." He's like, "Oh, congratulations, my boy." And like Eugene's kind of eyeing his like nurse. He's like, "Oh, get your own. This one's mine." And he's like, "Grandpa, where you been?" He's, "I've been traveling, just seeing a lot of things that I miss. But I also had to get somebody that's an old friend of yours."
Yep.
And Sandy comes by, and Jeff's like, "Oh my God, Sandy!" And they kind of like hug and kiss. Meanwhile, Patty's all sad, which we never really get the resolution to that. I was like, "Oh, is Eugene gonna like get with Patty because they're probably a little bit more age appropriate, like maybe 1 or 2 years apart?"
Right. Yeah.
Age
No, they
appro-
did. They did. They. You're right. They
Yeah,
just leave it.
yeah,
He's
they
like,
just
poor sad Sally.
yeah, or Patty.
Oh, Patty.
Sorry, I think I said Sally as well. So yeah, and then the movie just ends. Ends right there. So before we get into our thoughts about the movie, let's go to our other section: high star and a low star.
There's some 10 out of 10s. I was scared there was not going to be. So we got a 10 out of 10. Misunderstood masterpiece of rancid 80s schlock art. I can't believe all the harsh reviews this movie gets. I think it's a true work of deliciously dreadful 80s trash, exploitative movie art that totally nails the rampant hedonism and stupidity of adolescence with uncanny accuracy. All the kids want to do in this film are play video games and make out. They have no ambition, no aspiration towards doing anything meaningful or significant with their lives. They just want to party and have fun. Come on, people. That's what being a teenager is all about. And boy, does Joysticks peg this moronic mindset spot on with authenticity. This movie reaches a true moment of absolute cinematic greatness during the legendary strip video sequence when when the cameras pan down to show the hot chick's ample breasts jiggling up and down in extremely eye-poppingly close-up as she plays video games with those bodacious bouncers, bouncing boobies performing a majestic ballet that screams gleefully mindless, sleazy entertainment. Yeah, the acting stinks. The plot's paper thin. The humor is cute and sophomoric. The production values are strictly rock bottom, and the 80s slang, clothes, and hairstyle are now hopelessly out of date and laughable at this point. But Joysticks nonetheless reigns supreme as a genuinely tacky, no brainer Drek artifact of its era.
Jeez, that excerpt of like just boobs, it felt like something out of the New Yorker. Jesus. We got a 1 out of 10. Funny how things change decade to decade. Pac-Man was once thought to be the pinnacle of video games. The punk look was once very popular, and joysticks was once thought of as topical humor. Sometimes one is too much. Joysticks at times can be considered too many things. A waste of time, for one, as well as too many horny kids, outdated video games, blustering adults, flatulence jokes, kids in punk makeup, Joe Don Baker, and naturally big hair. Lots of that in the 80s as well. Nothing much more than nostalgia trip and a bad trip to boot. 1 star. Save your money for more important things than joysticks, like maybe a Nintendo set. I was like, well, first of all, I think joysticks is going to be a lot more cheaper than the brand new Nintendo Switch. Yeah, it's so funny because I was like, man, there are a lot of close up of boobs to Jeff, which it's just a product of its time. I feel like a lot of movies in the 80s just had random topless scenes where it's
Oh, right. Oh, like was just said, comedies and horrors just had
boobs
just
abound.
yeah.
Which I gotta say, I feel like even though it feels like raunchy, it kind of normalized nudity as far as like boobs go.
It did, yeah.
Versus now, it almost feels like a taboo again. Like, oh, hey, don't look. There's boobs on the, those are the things that used to feed you as a child. Yeah, it's so weird because like I feel like in European TV they show boobs just like on regular TV, and it's just like, oh, those are boobs, okay.
Right. I remember even like at when at the comic store, I would like throw on something like Monty Python, like their TV show, and it was like boobs, and I was like, oh, can't watch this here because for some reason like you could watch like a slasher flick where people are getting chopped up and parents didn't care about that, but there was like a boob and like they were like, what the hell are you showing on your
Right? You're like up in arms, like, yo, it's just a breast.
yeah.
Don't demonize a woman's body. Celebrate it. I do. But yeah, it sucks because like when you compare these things to probably better paced movies like Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, uh, even Caddyshack. That was a little bit more for older, like maybe like 20s, 30s.
Right. But it did also have some boobs.
Oh yeah. This one felt like it was like bottom of the barrel, I have to say, as far as like story structure. And
So apparently the director
yeah,
was at like the premiere of the movie that he put out before this, and while he was waiting at the premiere in the lobby to go into the movie for the showing, there was an arcade full of kids, and just standing there looking at all the kids like roughing around in the arcade, he was like, I need to make a movie about that.
yeah, but he was like, I need to make a movie about that, but put some tits in it.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what? Like the thing about this is like the bones of this like story. It's pretty cliche, but not for when this came out, right? Like
Right.
it was pretty like it was like it wasn't new, but still like this movie could have been structured just a little bit better to like flow a little bit better. Cause like the one thing I will agree with on the 1 star review is like it did feel like maybe there's too many things going on. It's like the story could have just been like we gotta save the arcade for Mr. Rudders, and then
Well, yeah, but they're trying to make it a comedy, so they're throwing a bunch of stuff in there so they can make jokes off of it.
yeah.
Like that was really the reason half the things were in the movie.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't the arcade wasn't struggling, so there was never really ever a need for a bikini car wash. But I was like, that's a classic. Like you could have just thrown a bikini car wash in there. Mr. Rudder's like, but then I was like, look at this depravity. I was like, oh, sir, they're raising funds for their little shop. If they
Right.
use
Yeah.
bikinis, it's fine. These are all fully grown adults, washing people's cars. I just think like that was like my only real gripe with it. I was like, this feels a little bit disjointed. And then like
Right.
when you have to do it that way to fit in jokes, then the jokes feel kind of like they don't land as well.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was really the only thing. But like when you're watching a movie like this, you're not expecting like some Hitchcock level of like storytelling. So I feel like
So
yeah, good.
so apparently, like it was super low budget. It's
Oh yeah,
300,000. I mean, which back
that was
then
a
wasn't
lot.
like wasn't terribly low. But to try to hit their projected target, they all their advertisements were in like comic books and video game magazines, and like they sent like flyers to like arcades, and then they had like this massive $1.5 million opening weekend, which was like just monumentally huge for what they were expecting.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of those kids are like, that movie was awesome.
Right. Yeah, it was like, hey, you love hanging out in the arcade? Come see it on the big screen. Like
And,
that was basically their advertisement.
and they're like, haven't you ever thought about the arcade, but boobs in the arcade? Okay, so I looked it up. How much what's inflation?
Mm.
It's $1 million project right there.
Okay.
But
Yeah, because
it made
a
it money.
million's
It made
yeah,
it made its money in spades. What is that like a 300-400%
right, and that's
return
opening weekend, and then they estimated about four million that it made.
in VHS?
No, just
Oh,
like in theaters and stuff.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
like gross.
Oh, gross. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that movie made more during rentals as well.
Oh yeah. It was a late night
Yeah,
like
there was one kid at school like, dude, gotta watch this movie. Tons of boobs.
right, because that was also back when you went to rent a movie, and the kid behind the counter renting movies was only 16, so he didn't care that you were a 13-year-old renting an R movie.
And I just imagine little Kobe with a painted on mustache. He says, I would like to rent Joysticks, sir. My my teenage son said this was a good movie. Oh gosh. So like Kobe, tell us, like can you regale the audience with a
So
little bit
it
of
it is interesting because I the of course everything in the arcade was exaggerated.
yeah.
There wasn't that many girls. Yeah, but like late, like in the evening, there was. I remember going to the arcade, like being like 15, 16, and we'd like ride our bikes up. Oh, gosh, probably like even before that, I was probably like 12, 13 year olds
Yeah.
riding our bikes up, playing the arcade during the day. But I remember like once the sun got down, it kind of got more like this, where there was like more crowds of people hanging out, like
Like
the
16 to 18.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then you would get some girls because it was like people would bring their girlfriends.
and then like all the girls would huddle together like, oh, can you believe our hair?
Right. But I do also totally remember like on the news there was like the Christian fundamentalist groups and stuff were like, oh my, arcades are destroying our children, and they're gonna be like, they're playing these games with the devil in, so they're gonna stop going to school, and they don't care about studying and getting good grades because they're only interested in video games. And then like that kind of went away, and then 10 years later it was like, oh, Nintendos and stuff are like, kids don't ever go outside because they're just always sitting inside playing.
Yeah, and then after that, it's like Marilyn Manson is destroying the youth. Columbine.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I totally remember that. Like, we're in Vegas, so I didn't ever see protests in front of like nothing like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
there was like, I mean, small towns there was.
Yeah, because
but
in
Vegas there was definitely stuff on the news. So it was like,
because in Vegas, the arcade is where you would just drop your kids off.
Oh, 100%.
Here's a 20, make it last.
Yeah, that was your babysitter for the day.
Which, man, I gotta say, like, growing up, I was like, every time we came to Vegas, like, cool, I get to hang out at the arcade all day. It's gonna be awesome. And then a very unfortunate thing happened around 99, 98. And that's where they're like, oh, nope, sorry, arcades are no longer 24 hours. And which, I mean, like, it was pretty silly for an arcade to be open 24 hours.
Right.
But,
no, so we had an arcade that was bike riding distance from my house. Like, my friends and I would all ride up. Nice. But then when we went to high school and we were actually driving, there was another really big arcade, but like not on the strip or anything, like off the strip, that was open 24 hours. Oh. And I remember being there at like
midnight,
1:00 in the morning, playing Mortal Kombat 1 or Street Fighter 1 you had like the push pads instead of the buttons. Yeah.
Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. But we're coming up to an hour. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us for a brand new month. Make sure to check all of our other following months down below, where we have other theme months down there for you, ranging from holiday themes, actors and actresses, director recommended movies, and just very niche little things for you to go ahead and check out. We do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
I'm probably not gonna go Blu-ray. I'm not sure those boobs are gonna be 4K. This was funner than streaming though. I would enjoy having this. I've been really kind of not trying to get into, but I've been getting back into like comedy movies. For a long time it seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of comedy movies coming out. And then like when they're all the hype around Happy Gilmore 2 and Naked Gun, I've been like, I really kind of miss that comedy genre. So this like totally fit. Like, I've been kind of delving into comedy movies and trying to find like the old like Porky's and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go DVD as well, just because if I get to meet the actor, Lord Vidiot, I think I have to be like, hey man, you gotta sign this movie, right?
Right. Yep. This is the one.
This is come on. I don't think this was your big break, but this got the ball rolling for you.
He was also in the Val Kilmer movie Real Genius.
Yeah.
He was the genius nerd who lived like in the walls of the dorm.
Oh yeah. It's like terrifying to think about. Yeah, like this guy, he was like, I remember he was like in an episode of like freaking Supernatural. He was in Napoleon Dynamite, Men in Black, Taken 2, Taken 1 and 3. The Taken, he was in the Taken series. So like, yeah, he's definitely just a guy that's been consistently busy throughout his career, which is awesome for him. And it was like, it's always great to see like actors like this, to see them in like their infancy of their careers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all our links down below where we have all our social medias.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
We're trying.
Threads.
Yeah. We're
We're
definitely trying.
everywhere.
And definitely trying. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.